From cell phones to fighter jets, microchips power everything. But did you know that their supply chain is incredibly fragile? Businesses worldwide depend heavily on Taiwan, where 65% of all semiconductors are fabricated. This can be led to global shortages in all major industries' productions in case of any disruption. So, who exactly is controlling the microchip supply chain? A single company, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, controls 54% of the semiconductor supply chain. It's also important to note that Taiwan produces 90% of the world's advanced chips, with TSMC and Samsung currently the only manufacturing facilities in the world able to produce 3-nanometer chips. The production of semiconductors is complicated, specialized, and tightly integrated. Chips used in an iPhone are designed in America, produced in Taiwan, Japan, or South Korea, and then assembled in China. No single company or country can produce microchips in isolation. An average chip currently crosses a national border up to 70 times before arriving at its final destination. Semiconductors were invented in the United States, but East Asia emerged as a manufacturing hub over time, largely due to the United States government's backing. This enabled Washington to establish commercial ties and strategic alliances in a region vulnerable to Russian influence during the Cold War. It's just as useful now, against Beijing's growing influence in the Asia-Pacific. China's access to the technology used to produce chips is being restricted by the Biden administration. Washington announced extensive export controls in October 2022, making it nearly impossible for businesses, wherever they may be based, to sell chips, chip-making equipment, and software containing U.S. tech to China. Additionally, it forbade U.S. citizens and permanent residents from aiding in the development or production of chips at specific Chinese factories. The U.S. wants to produce more chips as well. The CHIPS and Science Act provides $52 billion in grants and subsidies to U.S. semiconductor manufacturing companies. TSMC has also established two $40 billion plants in the U.S., their only facilities outside Taiwan. Beijing has also prioritized chip production at the national level and is making significant investments in AI and supercomputers. It has made significant progress over the past 10 years, particularly in terms of chip design capabilities. According to Chris Miller, author of Chip Wars and assistant professor at Tufts University, what you find historically is that whenever powerful countries have advanced computing technology, they deploy them to intelligence and military systems. Both China and America are rattled by this reliance on foreign nations for semiconductors. Due to this, both major economies are increasing their investments in the semiconductor sector. So, what will be the future of this microchip race? Mr. Miller said, there will still be a lot of back and forth between US companies, Taiwanese companies, Chinese companies, and firms from other countries. It's really only at the cutting edge in logic and memory chips where we're going to see a concerted effort by the US to cut China out of innovation networks and an effort by China to build up its own US free supply chain. Therefore, it is unclear who will really win or lose this technological war, or whether there is any end to technological advancement. All we can hope is that this will never turn into any kind of serious conflict.